The George Russell and Max Verstappen beef has went nuclear. Welcome back to Fog Racing. We're going to dive into a few quotes. Total Wolf dives straight into Christian Horner. He says, "Yapping little terrier, always something to say," and that's probably the light stuff. You know what I mean? The the easy stuff. That's what George Russell had to say about Max Verstappen. People have been bullied by Max for years now, and you can't question his driving abilities, but he cannot deal with adversity. Whenever anything has gone up against him, Jeddah 21, Brazil 21, he lashes out. Budapest this year, the very first race, the car wasn't dominant, crashing into Lewis, slamming his team, and as I said, for me, those comments on Saturday night and Sunday were totally disrespectful and unnecessary. Well, I mean, I don't know if I'd say that, you know, Budapest this year was the first time the car wasn't dominant this year because there's been a few races where they haven't been dominant, like Monaco, for example, right? But I kind of understand George Russell's point about Verstappen, in the sense, I mean, George Russell, is he saying the quiet point out loud now? We'll see how it goes now. Um, Russell did go on to say, "I find it all quite ironic, seeing as Saturday night he said he was going to purposely go out of his fucking way to crash into me and put me on my fucking head in the wall. So to question anyone's integrity as a person while saying comments like that the day before, I find is very ironic. I'm not going to sit here and accept that people have been bullied." Well, I've already read that, but um, I believe he was asked about 2021 Abu Dhabi, George Russell. And he basically said if what happened to if it was swapped and what happened to Hamilton happened to Max Verstappen, pretty much this is it. If Max Verstappen had the championship stolen from him like Lewis did, Michael Massey would have been fearing for his life. And you know what? I don't know if he'd have been fearing for his life, right? But what I would say is definitely like Jos Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Helmut Marko, and Christian Horner. They're a bit. I'd say they're a wee bit more hot headed than like Lewis Hamilton was very chill about it, and Total Will wasn't that bothered. I think George Russell's right. I think if it was flipped, they would have been absolutely raging, way more so. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. So let's dive into more comments. This is what Max Verstappen said. No regrets at all because I meant everything I said and it's still the same. If I had to do it again, maybe I would have said even more, knowing the outcome of the race results. I still can't believe that someone can be like that in the stewards room. For me, that was so unacceptable because we're all racing drivers. We have a lot of respect for each other. We even play sports together. You travel together, and of course, you have moments where you're together, you crash or whatever, and you're not happy. In my whole career, I've never experienced what I experienced in the stewards room in Qatar, and for me, that was unacceptable. Well, I wonder what happened in that room. Now, Russell did go on to say, and I quote, I honestly just want to set the record straight, to be honest, because it's just a total double standard that he has for the regulations and just thinking that he's above everyone else. So it's not just me trying to assert my leadership style or anything. It's just somebody has come out and said that I'm a two-faced motherfucker. And he's entitled to his own opinions, but coming out and saying that publicly and slamming me publicly, I'm just not going to accept that. I'm going to tell people what the reality was. He pushes himself to the absolute limit week in, week out. And in 95% of the scenarios, that's incredible to see. And I respect him for that 95%, but there's been incidents that have gone unpunished. Maybe that is why he thinks he can get away with murder, but that is not the world we live in, and actions have consequences. It just can't keep going on like that. For me, it's interesting, this whole regard with him and his own team. They're doing their utmost to get Horner out of Red Bull, but at the very first race that he wasn't competitive, he was absolutely slamming his team. I know for a fact the week after this, a quarter of his engineering team were sending their CVs to Mercedes, to McLaren, to Aston. So I don't respect anyone who doesn't appreciate those who've given him the chance to perform, because in these last 12 races, he has had a car that is of normal competitiveness. He's been in the very same fight, same way as myself, Hamilton, Leclerc, Sainz, Lando, and Piastri have been. That's how it should be. End of quote. Where's this going to go? Basically, you know what? I think for too long, right? Formula One hasn't hasn't had anything, right? Hasn't had any aminosity between the drivers, and I think this is brilliant to see. Now Russell did go on to say Lewis stood up to him in 2021. and Lewis lost that championship unfairly. Could you imagine if it was reversed? I mean, Michael Massey would be fearing for his life. Lewis is a world champion who I inspired to be like. I think he is a gold standard of a role model that younger kids should be looking up to. And the way that Lewis dealt with that championship fight, he was hard, he was aggressive, he was always respectful, and he never went beyond the line. End of quote. I mean, that's where we're going to leave it. But this is absolutely blown up, and I just hope next year Mercedes are a wee bit faster than Red Bull, because I think Russell would need that in a battle with Verstappen. Um, but yeah, it's all great, but see at the race start in Qatar, Russell's fucking arseful. Everyone's arseful against Verstappen, man. Like, they all talk a good game against him, but I think it's about fucking time one of them forced him off or did something to him, because he always does it to them, and he gets, yeah, Russell's like, he gets away with it, because you just sit there, like, shite bags, and let Verstappen dominate you. Pathetic. Anyway, I welcome this drama, guys. This is epic.